Hi everyone, my name is Arman Liwanag. I'm a third-year psychology and social behavior major. I'm your current external vice president, but I'm also running for next year's co-vice president. I would like to run for CABA president just because I really, CABA is my family, and it seriously has opened so many opportunities for me, and I see it for many other people as well, and I really want to give back to that family that I've been part of since my first year. And I've learned a lot through external vice president, working with 2 boards, and just being in different spaces, getting involved in different spaces, working with different people, really seeing everyone just grow as individuals, both on board and general members. It really inspires me to continue that. I guess for next year, a couple things that I would like to do. Does that mean 10 seconds? Oh my gosh, a couple things I want to do is cultivate leadership and create more transparency, so really bridge that gap between general members and board members. Thank you.
Alright, hello everyone, my name is Miguel, Penaranda. I'm a third-year biological sciences major and I'm currently your treasurer for this year. I stand here before you, hoping to serve you as Kawabayan's next president because I really feel that I love Kawabayan. I know it might sound cheesy, and it's hard to sum up my dedication, my passion, my pride for this club and this family within those 3 words. But I really feel that although you may see me just in the back, you may not see the work I do, but I really put a lot of effort into this club, into this community, and I would not change I would not change anything about the past 2 years I've dedicated to this family. There are a lot of things that I would love to see out of Kawabayan, but there are also a lot of things that I would just like to continue that Kawabayan is doing. And I just love Kawabayan, that's it.
DJ.
So what is your vision for Kawabayan for next year?
My vision for Kawabayan is to continue the family and help ensure that this organization stays a family and we stay a community within a community, as well as creating our own community and our own identity and continuing to be the Filipino American student experience that we have been. And I also want to make sure that every person that has the opportunity to pass through Kawabayan receives a great and unique experience, as well as learns and grows to develop into whoever they want to be, whether it be a leader or just figure out whatever they're passionate about. And I hope that Kawabayan can help them on the avenues to their greatness.
My vision for Kawabayan next year, I really especially want to work with the internal and external vice presidents. I think they set a huge role, or a huge, I guess, what's the word? Whatever, role for how the membership's going to be like. Internal vice president, I really do want to, like Miguel said, really have that family aspect, have everyone, getting to know each other, but at the same time be able to look at each other as individuals and really reach their potential. With the external vice president, I really want to, I guess, bridge the community that we are as Filipino American students in Kawabayan into the greater external community, such as ACCI, just the student body, make us more transparent within the community, and also the external community outside of college as well. Because, I mean, we're all college students, we're all going to graduate from here as well, so I really want to cultivate that leadership to go on after.
What did you see as the most important challenge that this year's board faced, and how do you plan to help next year's board overcome that challenge?
I think one of the biggest challenges that we faced this year was time commitment. I think a lot of us, which is great, a lot of us were involved in other things outside of Kawabayan, and I really actually do encourage that because, we are students, we have different interests and stuff. I think that I would like to create more families within board. Also another thing was board pumping. I like to be more transparent. Oh, was that time?
No,
oh, sorry. I think another thing that we had problems with is to being transparent with the general membership and to really bridging that gap between board members and general members. And I think just for the future, I think it would be a really great idea to really like encourage board to get to know general membership, because it's really important to have those connections with each other. Sorry. Everyone's like, it's so fast. Okay, go.
I also agree with Arman that board may have clumped and isolated themselves too much during meetings and throughout events. I hope to change that next year, maybe stress that board really needs to integrate themselves with the membership, get to know as many people as they can. I mean, I myself, I'm at fault too because I'm just in the back and I don't really get to know you. I'm sorry for that. If I haven't met you or haven't really had a good conversation with you. Also, in terms of time commitment, I think something I saw a problem with the board was different levels of passion towards the club and dedication. And that's okay because everyone has varying, it really makes me think it's over. Everyone has varying levels of passion and dedication towards something, and it just depends, and it varies on the person, and I would really just hope that the board that is elected and appointed next year shares the same level of passion and dedication towards its family.
This is 20 seconds.
Oh. Alright, Jordan.
Oh.
And then TJ.
What is one thing that you didn't like from Marco's presidency? And how
Yeah, I get to bring the motion.
Can we critique?
Yeah, critique the current position.
God, Jordan.
What did you get about Marco? You didn't love me.
Not as a position, but as ours. Miguel, what's up? Dances to
I felt that Marco was definitely a great leader and Marco definitely did a great job of being the face and forefront of Columbine. He's a very welcoming person, and you see him at meetings, and he really sets the tone for our board, and has a very carefree attitude. I feel that my only critiques were more on the logistical side of knowing certain aspects and details towards programming, and when it came to random things about board event planning and specific programs and events, as well as he definitely stayed on top of our duties and our responsibilities. But I feel that I would much rather I would play a father figure role in guiding and making sure that everyone stays on top of their responsibilities. But I would also want to let them grow, but not be so carefree with them and just kind of throw them into their positions. Damn, that's something.
Similar to what Miguel said, I actually really agree with that. I think Marco was a really great president. He was really welcoming, and he really inspired a lot of us, and really challenged us to grow as individuals and leaders. I think with programming and event planning, I think that he could have been a little bit more hands-on in the sense of helping, especially in the early stages of the board, to really help them, I guess, figure out and organize. I think for next year, I would try to utilize my, I guess, the skills that I picked up on, being involved in ACCI and stuff, planning and organizing events and whatnot, and to really develop leadership, and to also, I guess, have the board members really understand, I guess, the makings of Kaba and the history of the Filipino American community and the culture and stuff like that. So I think it's really important for the board to set that example as well. So, damn, it's so fast!
Oh, Mama, go ahead.
What are your strengths and weaknesses, and how are you going to overcome those weaknesses?
I think my strength is that I'm a really passionate person. I think that you could tell that when I talk, the things that I do. The things that I really try to involve myself in are things that I know that I really am going to put my heart into it. Even though I tend to overcommit myself, I know that that's what I love doing. And I know it's for the community in the end. One of my weaknesses would probably be, I do tend to have trouble managing my time. But I am currently, I guess, working on that. So far, or this past quarter, I was able to be involved in different spaces and make Dean's honors list. So I think that just by working with, just by getting to like the gist of things and getting to making a routine out of it and using my planner, which is amazing, organized and kind of fancy.
I feel that my strengths are really relatable to my dedication and passion. And my passion, not through mainly being vocal in how I speak about things, but in the way in what I put my effort and a lot of my life into. And as you can see, through the past 2 years, I've definitely put a lot of my college career in Kalabay, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I stand here before you ready and willing to be your president next year. One of my weaknesses is also not being vocal, but it's also being very shy and not willing to be at the forefront of things. And I'm not necessarily that I want to be a leader, but I feel that the sense of leadership that I have is one that's very on the background, and I feel like college president would have to be someone that has to be in the front, has to be the face of Kalabay, and has to be ready to be at the front. At the front, yeah, that's the point.
Because of Pam, and then all the way to the end because of Pam. You're both going to be fourth years, and I've seen you work for about 2 years. So, like, how are your extracurriculars going to impact the way you plan for college as president?
Oh yeah. Aside from Kalabay, you mean like other time commitments, right?
Yeah.
Aside from Kalabay, next year my only for sure time commitment will be work, I've been working at the brand since first year, and I've been managing that pretty well. When it comes in terms of working with all the other positions in the board throughout the whole year, I've been doing that as treasurer because I kind of have to check up on everyone's budgets and planning and make sure that everything's running smoothly and they have all the money, like the correct money allocation for anything that they want to do for that programming or event or meeting. So I feel that it would pretty much stay consistent with me next year with my time commitment and making sure that I can isolate myself to every position as well as to commit my time and days to college board in general.
John, can you repeat the question, sorry?
Just pretty much, because you know the president takes a lot of time. How are your extracurriculars or anything like work going to affect the way you work for college, pretty much, like being president?
Next year, I'm running for representative for ACCI next year. That takes, if I were to be elected as that would take about 4 hours a week. And I'm also running for, or I'm going to be a discussion leader for university studies. Right now, I think I'm handling pretty well. I'm involved with ACCI Office of EVP, bookstore access mentorship, which takes 10 hours a week, and club board. And I think I'm still able to handle it. I think it's really important for the president to actually be involved in different spaces, so that the CABA president could represent CABA in different, I guess, areas of the UCI, and also just to get a handle of different resources on our campus. So I would definitely try to bring that in. I think that CABA is first and foremost my home, and that is my passion, and that's what I'm going to be dedicating most of my time to. Thank you.
John actually asked my question mostly. I was gonna say, in addition to college board, what other time commitments would you be having? But you both pretty much answered that. So I'll ask something else. In case either of you, well, one of you, whoever doesn't get the position, what would you?
What role would you say you can by next year? So I guess just to read it to everyone, I think Jordan's questions is if you don't get the position of president, if you're not elected, what role do you see yourself playing within by next year?
There you go. What Marco said.
I believe that leadership is not a position. It is more of like your influence on people and just like how active you are in other people's lives. If I don't get president, then it's not going to stop here. I do want to still be in Kababayan, Esquia, possibly doing KCN board next year. I would also want to be involved with Alianza. I think that I would also just continue wanting to advocate for our community, maybe run as Alianza chair or whatever board is going to exist next year. but I still am gonna try to. Oh no, I still will come out to college general meetings because this is my home. Because everyone I love is here. But pacing board, probably, yeah. If I get it.
Same goes for me as with Arman. If I were not to get a position, I would do my best to come out to every meeting. I would definitely apply for packing board. I'd love to be part of packing board. I would finally be in packing. I have never been in packing. I know. I would be in the cast, which would be really exciting. I would love to be I'd love to be a Kuya. I would love to just enjoy the general meeting, sitting down on the floor, not having to read anything. I would just do my best to participate and be as best Columbine general member as I can. I would do my best to represent us to whatever communities, external communities I'm a part of. Of course, Alianza is very important. I would love to be a part of Alianza if I could. I used to go to a lot of Alianza org meetings, and I would love to go back to going to those thumbs up. Okay. Not bad.
You're fine. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry for all the questions. But as Columbine is known as one of the biggest organizations here on campus, it's like a magnitude of like 300 plus members. And like you said, each of you have seen Columbine as the cornerstone of your foundation of leadership. So I would say, as president, how would you encourage the newer members, or even members who don't really come out, like just to get that inspiration as well? What would you do as president to institutionalize that inspiration that you guys got, and that role of position?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? I promise I was listening. I heard like institutionalize and magnitude 300.
Okay, rephrase that. Kava can be very clicky. How would you, as president, break those social constructions? Yeah, barriers, and inspire those members to become leaders of Columbine, or to be leaders of the community, or just to be active members within the space. Because we're not cliquey. We love you guys. Yeah.
Alright. Heard you that time. Yes, it's been heard and said about Columbine that we're really cliquey and very exclusive, and we're hard to be seen as welcoming. I would do my best to stress that the board, I feel like it really begins with the board, and the board has to stress to the general members that we are a family, and despite the exclusivity that comes from that, we just have to be as welcoming and loving to each other, and not really show that I really think that we should be proud that we're part of Columbine, but it's not really about intimidating other people. It's showing them how much we love this family, and that should express to them that they're welcome to be a part of this family too. Also, being seen as cliquey isn't too terrible, because cliques are, foundation of friendships. If you look at it, board is kind of a clique because we came back for a reason, for a certain specific people sometimes, and different reasons. And I'm done, but yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, this is not part of the time, I hope not. Okay, so I get back to your question, sorry. Okay, so like Miguel said, I think it does really start with the board. I think that it's really important for the board to reach out to new members and to still, talk to the returning members as well. I think it's also important to talk to returning members, especially seniors and the upperclassmen, to really reach out to the first years especially and the new students, because I think that's who is gonna, continue that inspiration, that legacy, the board and the upperclassmen, because the new students don't really know exactly what Kava could offer for them. And I think that by talking, or by having, or bridging that gap between the upperclassmen and the underclassmen, that you could really, continue on that legacy and really pass down the stories about how Kava really influenced their life and impacted that life. Also by encouraging them to take leadership positions, whether it be class reps, interning. I think interning personally was my way into Kava, so having that available to them is good.
Cool. We're going to go 5 more minutes, and then in these last 5 minutes, we're going to do 30 seconds, so it's going to be like quick
Damn,
fire.
lightning
Cool.
round.
Lightning round. Yeah. So these are gonna be the last set of questions because I know everyone's exhausted, everybody and stuff. But so last 5 minutes. If you have any questions, please shoot it up. Micah and then Sean. Yeah, let's go there first.
It's going to be longer questions. We have a short time. So I guess what made you apply for board the second time? What made you want to return? And what's making you want to return this year? I guess you did this and why? That's all.
So, because we're both returning, okay.
So 30 seconds. I'm gonna shoot.
That's a long question. Okay. So, I was actually hesitant to run for board this past year as external vice president, but I think what really drove that passion was, again, my love for Kaba and the community, because external vice president, you deal with a lot of community issues and a lot of community organizations as well. What made me want to return to run for president, again, that love and passion for Kaba Bayan. I really love representing Kaba, and I love, I guess, encouraging others to get involved in different spaces within Kaba and outside of Kaba, and to really cultivate leadership. That's mainly what I want to do too. I know that's fine.
Okay, I was also hesitant to apply for board last year, but I feel that looking back now and connecting the dots, that it was the perfect position for me. This year's treasurer, I've done a lot of work behind the scenes. It's a lot of just making sure that everything, that Columbine stays okay, that all the programming happens, that all the board members are comfortable and doing well in their programming, and that everything just goes and runs smoothly for the club, financially and just supportively. Next year I want to continue that, and I just feel that I really want to be a part of making sure that Columbine stays what it is, stays the family that it is, and continues on to legacy. I just threw that out there. Sorry.
Oh. Kaba Bayan, every member / board member holds Kaba Bayan dearly to the heart and has their own unique definition. So if you were to describe Kaba Bayan in 3 words, what would that be?
You got 30 seconds. Miguel and then Arman. I won't time this one. You got 3 words.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
10 words a second.
Family. Passion. And
That's 3.
I feel like this is like Wheel of Fortune.
culture.
Are we explaining?
You have 3 words. That was the question.
Family. What? That was part of my family. I know, bro. Empowering.
That's true.
Influential. Oh, can I take one back? Yeah. I'm a good one. I don't want to say it.
I think that when the word president comes to mind, it's about leadership. And when a lot of people think about leadership, they think about loud, charismatic people. I think Marco brought a kind of new perspective to that term. How do you guys plan to do that as president?
So, what do you mean plans to do what? Sorry. Exactly.
Because I personally think that a leader isn't the loudest guy in the room. There are different definitions for leadership, and what's yours, and how do you plan to apply that to
That's a good question. I think that, I know I am a loud person, I get it. But I really, no, not talking to you. But I really hope to believe that I lead by example. I think that I or I want to believe that I do try to represent all the aspects of Kababayan and really, I guess, show my passion for it, and that's what I want to show to the general membership and the board. I want to show that, you know, Kaba is something that, like, I can't even explain what it is. It's like, it's that passion, that bond that you have with, and dedication that you have with Kababayan as an entity, and I really want to show that love for that, and thank you.
I agree. I may not be. I myself am not the loudest or most charismatic person out there, but I feel that as a leader for Kababayan, the president is someone who shows his love for Kababayan in his own personal way, or their own personal way. Sorry. The president is someone who is willing to shoulder all responsibilities for Kababayan, whether there is a board of 18 or just 3 that year. Doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter to that person because they care about Kababayan so much that, and they're so passionate about Kababayan that they're willing to sacrifice so much of their time and effort and dedication towards this family.
Cool. 2 last questions. Sorry, because it's almost time. Oh. Sorry, do you guys have questions? Oh. No. Sorry. There's 3 people. Well, we'll go with Jack.
So we've heard pretty much like why you should be elected as president. So what's one reason why you shouldn't be elected? We've heard why you should be elected as president the past 20 minutes. So what's one reason why you shouldn't be elected as president? No.
I personally think that for me, I may not have the for me, I'm looking at myself as in terms of president and what president should be. I may not have the charisma and personality that a president should have. Maybe the attitude sometimes. I have the passion and dedication to the club and to the members, and I'm really willing to do whatever it takes for them. But in terms of personality and welcoming, I may not have that initially, but that's something I really learn to gain.
I think that people might be concerned about my possible involvements for next year. I think time commitment. If you all want a president that is going to be like just Kaba, like just straight Kaba, dedicated to Kaba. I think I still am going to be dedicated to Kaba, but I'm going to try to bring that in different ways. But I think time commitment would be a huge reason why people, or why I would not be, or why I should not be elected as president. Yeah. But again, I do want to emphasize that I believe that it's important to be involved in different spaces so that you can represent Kaba in different ways and to bring different perspectives in. But that doesn't work out. I think SC Pasta actually is a huge, amazing organization because you have all these SoCal organizations coming together. That's really powerful. So I think that I would really try to bridge that external gap between us and SC Pasta by really, is that done or no? Half. By really just encouraging our members to go out to these events because they're really fun. You get to network a lot of people. I'm a very external person. I'm UVP, right? So it's like I would really try to bridge that gap between SC Pasta and Kaba. Yeah.
If you don't know what SPAS stands for, it stands for Southern California. And it is the umbrella organization that oversees the various Filipino orgs and various college campuses. We used to have I felt that the year before this year, we had a very good communication with Espasa because we had Espasa Summit here. And what we did was, as a board, we would go to various Espasa events, go to their first chance, go to their culture nights. We would go to the Espasa planned events, and I feel like it really stems from the board and showing our enthusiasm for Espasa and then translating that to the general membership and hopefully getting them as excited as we should be for Espasa.
Alright. Alright, so thanks everyone. If you have any other questions for the candidates, please don't hesitate to come up to them, unless they don't want you to. Knowing both of these guys and working with them for 2 years, get to know them. If you have, honestly, if you have any personal questions, I'm sure that both of them will be more than happy to to answer them, especially if it's personal to you. You know what I mean? Kababayan is like has a different definition for everyone, and then it's just great to hear also feedback from all of you as well. With that being said, each candidate will have 30 to 45 seconds to kind of say whatever they want as a closing statement, and then let's go with 45 seconds so you guys can forget. So Miguel, you went last, right? Yeah. So Miguel first, and then Arman. You can say whatever you want.
Alright. Okay, I can still remember my first year when I didn't get interned, coming out of Winter Banquet and thinking that this is just not what I wanted to be a part of. And looking back now, looking at the 2 years that I've had, being put on contract, dedicating so much more time, struggling with work hours and Kaba hours, I still think that standing here right now, hoping to serve you as Kababayan president next year, I wouldn't change a single thing about anything.
I think it's kind of crazy, how far a lot of us have gone. I remember, my first year, I really didn't like Kaba, to be honest. It was really scary, it was really intimidating, and I was shy the first year. And I think it's really crazy how we've all grown, how I've seriously gotten to know a lot of you, and just getting to know my culture, but also a family that I really never thought I would have in the Bay Area. And I really want to continue that legacy and influence other people. Kaba is going to be here for forever. Next year, or in 2 years, it's going to be its 40th year. And I really hope to continue that pipeline and continue that legacy going. To have members know that Kaba is a family, we have a huge influence in the community, we are a powerful group, we're an amazing group, and I just want to do that. What is the time? That felt longer than it should be. Oh, okay, and I love you all.
Can we have one more applause for... So the voting will start on Saturday. The reason because of that, one, and then two, also, I want everyone to be able to have a chance to read what they wrote, for their application-wise too. So we'll put that up as soon as we can, so that everyone has a chance to also read that, and then also other people have a chance to see the videos before we start voting. Cool. Voting will start on Saturday and then continue all the way till Thursday. So if you can find me or Ariel, can you raise your hand? Ariel, the girl in the blue. All right. We're the only two people collecting voting because we're graduating. But yeah, so if you find either of us, your vote will be fine. We'll have them starting Saturday, and then we'll go on from there. Okay. Cool. So with that, we have the winners for tonight.